See, if you're beginners, you can't be here. It's not possible. So anyway, I'll give you some idea. At 320, like 320 to 435, 6, like there is a kind of a meditation only for samadhi, right? With metta, and there's a recording of, normally sometimes I come, but now I had to look after two things, my body as well as, so today I'm okay, but if I get to this thing, I might not be okay. But doesn't matter, this doesn't need too much of this thing, but people have got addicted to that, I don't know why I have to come every day. I came every other day. But this organizers, the gentlemen, they told me, they're used to having the Bhante just there and instructing like this. My talk is an instruction already. It's if someone wants to this thing, it's not just a bana. I'm not used to this bana. And I also compare to talk so much, because it is now when I go for these programs, people expect that. But if you stay there, sit there, you will get an automatic meditation. Because when I go here, I'll be not talking much. I'll be trying to maintain my certain practice. So I hopefully that samadhi, at least samadhi energy will come to you. So anyway, you can easily, but that is not the thing I must tell you. When I was, the routine I will tell you, okay, one thing I'll have to explain some background, how I came to this kind of retreat, to give the retreat. I told beginning that, I told one time when I'm an Arahant I will come. It's okay, and then 2015, I had a near-death experience. From 2008, I've been going to Kailash, Mansarovar, in the Himalayas, in the Tibetan plateau. So we always face altitude sickness. And then, but this 2015, I faced a real experience where I thought I'll not make it. So then we have a practice actually. For a long time we have developed. How are you, auntie? I'm not very comfortable. Relax, don't worry, you'll be okay. All right. Not easy, at once with a lot of crowd, and sometimes especially I don't know how many in one room. But this is a real thing in this part of the world. To have this opportunity, you must really be grateful to whoever, the senior monks who have done these things. Got the opportunity, and at the park, at this time it will be nice. When the sun is not too out, you can go, and I will tell you how to, you have to spread here and there, find a quiet place. So in this altitude sick experience, that time I knew I will not make it. Then we have a practice where we look at, like from outside, as body, feeling, perception, and so on. Not everybody is here, right? I don't know. There are some, I think, are they in their rooms or resting maybe? Or have left? Matta innawada ara kattiya? Ara කීප දෙනෙක් දැනුම් දීලා දන්නේ නැහැ. මේ කීප දෙනෙක් නෑ වගේ නේ. කයි දෙකයි. නෑ. Okay, move to that chair. Let's see. No, still missing, no? That my main devotee, she's not here. The African lady. No? Where is she? Are they in their rooms, or are they okay? Or are they fainted somewhere? Anyone know where the Podabbalando ladies like you must send a lady to that place. Yeah. So there should be a lady appointed to check, the ladies' things. Definitely it should be try your best to separate. It's a small place, so you have to really see how ladies will be separate, men will be separate, and also from men to men you have to try your best to separate from human beings. All right. Otherwise, but with a compassionate this thing, if you can't, then accept it. but be in the idea of to be alone, like that will help you. At least the idea. Imagine yourself in the jungle of the. So that time I experienced this. I was going to prepare myself. Yesterday I happened to see some of slides of that area. Venerable Rahula, he goes a lot to the Himalayas. He has been months there, Kailash, and the huge lake. So that's the place I nearly passed away. And there's no facilities, nothing. It's like a deserty Western Tibet, so rugged area. And so then I prepared this practice to look at myself like from outside as body, feeling, perception. Okay, this we have trained for a long time. And so this, when I tried to do that, initial thought came that I couldn't serve the people enough. I couldn't give them enough. I can't help it. Next life. So regret came. Because a long time, of course, even my teacher encouraged me that time. He's not a person, maybe you would have seen some karma in my sort of practice, that, and he told me many things to do, but I waited. I did my own practice to purify myself. So after this experience, I knew I have overdone it. I should have shared something on my way. So people met me while I was going. Never I went for talks or do anything like that, externally especially. So what happened? I happened to, then I realized, then 2015, it was, many experiences happened. First, the body, I nearly died, and so many others, like the devil was coming behind me. And so some experience I don't reveal still. I hope I can tell everything what happened. So then I always tell people after all these experiences that when there's so much tough and rough situations, that there are gems waiting for you. So yes, every experience, even now I have faced quite a physical thing. I think it will get stronger. Yogis, when they fall sick or have some kind of challenges, they will become stronger, in their spiritual growth, and it's like a fastens their evolution. So you must not take it as it's a blessing. So anyway, after that, 2017 I came. They managed to arrange, and like all these countries, and accept the invitations. And again, I thought I might come 2018. No, a same habit of going alone, and then spend Vasa in Badrinath. There I also had a good time in meditation. And the Sri Lankan National there's jungle. So actually, I like, the Thai tradition, the Tudong way is really, really nice, really good. In fact, only I feel if it was, the sutta was brought in for the, the practice as the Buddha as your guide. So otherwise, Ajahn Mun was an inspiration for me. I think he's like lived for a long time, the Tudong way. And Ajahn Tet, I've read their story. I don't know whether they are, those days I used to feel inspired by reading the book, So we can relate something, and the kind of, it was very good. So, but then with my teacher, I saw him until he's collapsed or couldn't even physically go until then he was living this life. And even to the end, we just stayed in one place when we came to attend to him. So, and as I attended, it was so inspiring. It's very inspiring to see a live Dhamma from a being like who is suffering physically so much, and there's so much peace and joy and mindfulness, wisdom and compassion all together. It was very inspiring, and I thought, one day maybe I also could be like that. So after that experience, now I must tell you, from the time I ordained, before these things happen also, I was very, very much into contemplating the suttas. Sutta means this was the way, because initially I had some experience through physics and science. Have you all ever gone through any of the discourses? I don't know. I explained this whole thing. In southern Africa, so there, Lesotho, where I was brought up, there, searching for kind of I was, for a long time, from young age, I was curious, so whatever the environment there, I was really, later I found out that I'm looking for something eternal, or something, because first I want to make a car that works with water, thinking water is freely available, and so that the car can run forever, like. So because of my father's, kind of background and the atmosphere I had, the engineering and all that, so this way, like 7, 8. And then one day I designed also the perpetual machine, which no idea of physics, that, but this was working. So father also encouraged me. So later on, 14, 15 was more this thing. I make it very fast, because we had to cover much for the retreat. So I got interested in relativity, theory of relativity. And recently I found that somebody, they have already found, that certain particles go faster than the speed of light, right? I don't know, have you all very familiar with because I met a very special monk, Rahula Bante's, so those days I actually reasoned out, because near the speed of light, time slows down and so on, but if you go faster than speed, it goes back in time, according to mathematically. So back in time, I took those days as memory. So related to psychology inside that, and faster, intuition and all these things. And one day we'll come to a point where time stops. That was my kind of theoretical model I had like this. But that, based on that, I had some anitya experience. And that was, so this is how, just to cut short, I was to come to Princeton actually to study astrophysics, but after that experience, I didn't want to go anywhere. I knew the monk's way as the way to, really, I have no idea of monks also too much. We visit Sri Lanka time to time, and someone ties the pirit or the nool, the thread and all that. So with my parents, they are just praying and that kind of vows, and so never the real. Of course, I saw my mom meditating. Really, that was something I think would have made an impact, but not in terms of understanding the world and what's going on. I didn't think. I thought science will. So after this experience, and we were in a solitary place, very nice Caledon River. So I had a habit of going for walks. So one time I just had this kind of this thing, what is the cause for any phenomena to happen? Just like in the mental picture, cause and just phenomena. And suddenly it's like, I could say like a vision or a thought, this thing like, like whatever rise in time has to pass away. Even now, if you just take it, now even our talk or whatever phenomena that will happen, but that was not like that, just as very clear. And then a monk also in the mind's eye. Then everything is passing away, all these mountains, everything, our body, everything. So it's like a last body, this will just completely, and just to cover the body, the robes. So the picture of a monk, it gave me that I should become like that. And be in these silent places. That's another thing. It was a very silent place. I noticed the silence, and I didn't know about the forest monasteries or why they are created. That's why I'm now telling you, being that you have to. It's coming from a silent zone. This vision, there is such a vision. So it's a Dhamma vision, and closest English word would be intuition. We call it vipassana. All that vipassana is that effect, of that special sight. Wisdom sight. It's not an ordinary intellectual, understanding, or it starts from that, but it's with more coming to present moment, mindfulness and blissfulness, that will happen, that I might work. So in this retreat, hopefully, hopefully means don't be like, now I'm going to attain this or attain that. Just do it, just do this, okay? Don't have that competitive drive. That's a big obstacle for this. First thing, think you have come for a holiday, all right? And relax. If you have not slept, maybe that she's sleeping, I guess. I don't know. And, he also went, he also lost, I think. So, okay. So anyway, this is very important. Just relax and go do the reading, all right? So I must tell you, after that I met my teacher in Sri Lanka. he was coming Pindapat, once a month to my grandma, and my grandma was telling, oh, this special monk is there, you must meet him. And so we met, and he directed me to the suttas directly. When I was going through the suttas, it really made sense with my personal experience. And then I happened to stay with him. That was a real, like a dream, because he was always wandering and a loner. So he happened to be taken by a senior monk to that island hermitage where this all started when he was a young monk too. So just to be an example to those monks at that time, I didn't know where the island hermitage was and all that. So I anyway went. Then he invited me. Actually, I was going to get some instruction and go to another faraway monastery to practice. And he told me there are empty kutis, and it was not easy. Then I had some obstacle from others. So, but I was determined even to stay under a tree and get his instruction, because I knew the importance of this occasion. So anyway, I got a chance to stay, and that was the 14 days. It was a very, I would say, my best 14 days in my whole samsara, I would say, because that was very special for me. And then only I realized there are so many suttas told by the Buddha. Until then I didn't know there are so many ways the teachings were. Is it too hot? Or this the way to adjust? I don't know. I'm okay with all together. No, okay. Don't feel uncomfortable physically, and if you want to. So anyway, then it started. So then I was full into it in that age, like 18, 19, 20 and 21. 21, I had to go and do my studies again, and it went down again, in the universities and so on. But fulfilled my father's wishes. Came back, but still I was into that with the sutta to contemplate. And those days, in the beginning itself, I knew is to apply it. That's very important now. That's a very new thing, we don't, now I tell people to read sutta, but they just read it, they have no idea of applying to them. That is the main thing. If you want to get that's how it becomes, Dhamma Vijaya Bojjhanga, mental picture of the Dhamma. So first you have to clean the mind to be, enjoy the mind being in the present moment and be mindful. With that, only the reading and thinking should happen. So you have not that, and you have so much very fast mind, that won't do, and you will feel boring also, because you will like to have something more intellectual, more explaining. Some things you have to experience. You will try to verbalize it, and kind of, if someone explains that, you'll be very, very delighted with that. I call this the tickling of the mind. You have to be tickled, and so that's not. Some things you have to experience. It's infinite, like dhyana, and the insight experiences. You can't talk about it. You can tell the way, what to practice, and then it's experience. Of course, piti, sukha, ekagrata, these are told, the factors you get. So you can't imagine what it is like now, but at least you can know it's peaceful, it is blissful, or while like that you can't be yawning, you can't be angry, and you can say, I am in first dhyana still. So that's common sense, you can watch yourself, how you are. So so I kept on practicing. And then when I became a monk, I also have to live initially a Tudong life. Like this actually, I was with my teacher, long Pindapat. He was old, he was in the bed, and he wanted us to go. So, and slowly, because I was the first of his this thing, so we slowly have to, still Samanera for 1 year. Then after that, then I also have to stay, I said, with some tough brother monks. Okay, I don't think they'll be upset if they hear this, because always I love them, I still love them. But they were a little naughty. I don't know, it's also my karma, So they were very bigger than me in body. I was a young monk. So, but they were like babies, I would say. It's a funny situation. Anyway, so then I had to show them, they are not under me. They want, why this young monk, we have to follow him? They must be thinking. So I had to take them on a commando trip. So 3 hours Pindapat, it was good for me also. So they really then finally they want to become a monk also. They came as upasakas. And so it was like this. So I was very much into samadhi, more samadhi, and rain, but it's cold, heat, whatever, you don't feel it much. Then later on, also as a charika monk, much later, little I did with my teacher's permission, just 2 weeks, 1 week, just to get the thing. But later on, when I had a longer occasion, then very rough time, so hundreds of kilometers, sometimes on foot, so don't feel it, 30 kilometers per day, 15 morning, 15 like this. But did the same thing, though this is a very different thing. You have the same meditation in charika, so that was samadhi and little panya practice, but not experiencing the world outside too much. So if you have that ability only, if you can't keep it, you must be in the monastery. You should not be, you must train, when you're moving, you can't train deep samadhi, or deep insight can come in actually solitude. So actually initially one is supposed to stay in solitude, and what you are doing, that has to be done, what you are going to do now. So after that, this thing, I was fully into samadhi for long periods. Time also passes away. And even in Himalayas, I take the Samyutta Nikaya, read few pages, but I go again to the sort of samadhi. It went on. Even the caves, I had one old book which I had, Samyutta Nikaya, for many years. My luggage would be the book Samyutta Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya by Bhikkhu Bodhi. And so I happened to do this. Then I knew I must bring this analyzing, contemplating, and which leads to Nibbana, the Yoniso Manasikara. I was, I knew I had to do it. So anyway, day by day passed by. And then 2 years back, a certain experience took place. This is the reason, because I have mixed that experience to this retreat. This was, like in India, I have an assistant to help me. So he's an Indian person, so his idea of enlightenment is some kind of miracles and magic. Okay, so he loved me. He had, always kind of had devotion to me. So he was expecting me that I would do some kind of miracle, something. So there was some monk somewhere, not a monk, a sadhu, or in the Hindu way of a yogi. He's become very popular. So he would have admired him. So he would have thought, oh, Bhante would have, I wish Bhante was. 2 years back, then when he contacted me, he told me, Bhante, there's this person, what do you think about him? I thought, young person, okay. I didn't know much at all. He said, you must go and meet him. Definitely he will meet you. So it's like lakhs of people there coming, and he become very famous and known. Because India also, people have no faith of monks or sadhus, or like no spiritual power they think. They're all like materialistic, they think. Same everywhere in the world, it's like a same idea. People are skeptical about. So anyway, in that sort of situation, he again, brings some, in that way, in India also, that there are people who have some powers, some strength, some developed strength of mind. So anyway, in that time, I went. I went, and that day he was not there. It's like a very remote area, but a lot of people were there. Just so in my mind, I had a small like a determination. I wish I could meet somebody who has some special power or something. So then, who will help me also, give me some encouragement. And I left. There's a special mountain there, but I felt the energy very connected. Then I came again there. There's a flight from Delhi to that place. So that flight I was on, a small flight, Bombardier, I never forget, they are called the Bombardier, very small flight. I think maybe the old times they had transporting maybe army or what, I don't know. In that flight, he was also there. He also had been doing programs and coming to his village. So when he, that was more, in the night we got down, and I was in a certain way actually that I didn't make it very prominent that I could be noticed. So, but from far away in his vehicle, he called me with the security and all that, because a lot of people, gather when he's there. So, and then I went there and he told me, are you going to that place? I said, yes, he's a ashram. Then he told me, when he told me like that, I already arranged my vehicle too. So we followed him. He said, come, and he told his people, bring this Swamiji with me. And he was going to see his mum after all this, activity. And when he met his, there were like thousands of people there knowing, it's about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the night. And they got to know he has arrived there. And this whole, very poor place still. He has not developed that, his old house, like a village, a hamlet. And so they took me. He's famous for this actually. He keeps a board and writes, like he calls someone with that person's personal information. And like name or maybe telephone number, he tell to call and they would come. And they would sit beside him. And then he would write, just keep writing. And then he'll ask, why did you come? And then he said, well, maybe I have cancer, I have this problem or that. And then he has written all that and then some solution for this person. So this how he's famous. Someone very deep secret suffering, pain, they would reveal, and he would reveal that, and they're really, like in tears, and so this gives them some solution. So thousands of people, they are waiting because any chance, it's very interesting. There are times that he has, when I have been meeting him, like anytime I go, it was a very surprise. Then he told me the reason also that we have been brother yogis, same yogis in the previous life. Of course, not in Dhamma Nibbana, but that's the reason that we have just meeting, because I have no influence, I have no phones to be connected. But it's very interesting. Whenever he's there, I am also there. He would bump into me. And then one day, I remember it was in the audience hall or this room. So all these VIP people with, their cards and all that, telling the assistants to, giving their card, telling them to send it to that place. So when they went there, they already went inside. And later, thirdly, the assistants, they came and called me. Then I went to see, like, there are chambers inside, so many rooms. Suddenly I see all these VIP people in this certain room, and I'm passing them. They have not been called yet. So I thought hell also must be like that, that you make all kind of, approaches in that way. So anyway, when I met him, one day he said, not enough. And I didn't know why he was telling not enough. In English is also not good, like now mine. I'm long time not speaking so much with Sri Lankan crowd. But anyway, then he told me, it's not that your meditation is okay, but we want more, you can do more. We want you to sort of practice more. That's why you can do more. That's why we want to encourage like that, he told me. So I have already been doing this samadhi and this little vipassana with the suttas, reading few, but mostly samadhi. So I did that more than before and came to him. When I came to him, he saw me from far and I asked, how is my practice now? And like from far away he said, like this. And then he said, I will explain to you. And then we met in his private place. When we met, he told, your samadhi is good, your this thing is good, but your know-me meditation is, you have to develop. Now that is the closest he could tell about anatta, all right? Because in the Indian, this thing, the Ramana Maharishi is the closest, South India, who give this idea, but know-me, not my, is the body, not the consciousness, all right? So this practice is there in them. So it is the closest. Then I understood, because he would have perceived already, I feel, because how does he know that I already developed, practiced this, the Vipassana practice. And also told there's a book with me. If you read that book, you are all, what he said, everything will become clear. So what book I have? The Samyutta Nikaya book. And this I've been taking, no one knows I'm taking it every cave or everywhere I'm living, going. Then I realized, I must now force myself, leave this samadhi thing, I must read and contemplate, do what I did when I was young. So I went to one of the Aranyas, forest hermitages, and then I started the Kanda Vagga, which you're going to start tomorrow. All right. Now my teacher is to give these 2 sections to monks only. He says, if you want to attain fruit and path and fruit, then go through Kanda Vagga. Like this short instruction he gives. All right. I'm the one who come and spoon feeding you all. All right. So, but anyway, this is there. So this one I started to read, not like those days contemplating, very fast. Okay. I did that and I went back, and then 80%, according to them, 80% this has grown. So that gave me encouragement. Oh, there's something happening in the brain just by simply, reading without even trying to understand properly. Then I went to Salayatana Vagga also, very fast I went through that. And I went back then 120%. This inspired me to, it's like a MRI scan in a different way, it's the divine eye. So I'm sharing some of my experience from that side. Now I'm trying to show the importance of the suttas. Okay, I knew it already, but trying to highlight it, that this is a rare chance you get a Buddhist ocean of wisdom there. There's a special type of wisdom here. It's not the wisdom we think, from our kind of modern, civilization. This is ancient wisdom. It answers the entire question of life. Okay, so this is very important, because this is where you can get a full, if you want to get enlightened, it's not just a small part, it's actually a full with, now I must tell you, even before I had that impermanent experience, already some proof of other existence, of other planes of existence, that I cut short that story, because I don't want to, go on these stories now, because just to give you the point, there I had some, through relativity actually, about the existence of even King of Gods and all these higher planes, and then I predicted the English literature, English language, essay titles. Okay, I can't go more to that. You can find the details of it. So based on that, so these things have to grow in us. Then only you will see the universal impermanence, not the impermanence of even the 5 sense experience, but so it's not seen or this thing. You have to do the right contemplation, and that will bring that wisdom experience. That eye has to be slowly massaged and kind of awakened. It's like sleeping. It will start to happen. So now in this 5-day retreat, I have mixed these two. Okay, one thing I'll explain about how to do even the walking meditation, how I did with my teacher, and how to contemplate the suttas. Okay, but you will do only little. Only you have time 5 days. Little bit only you'll be doing that, and then I suggest you to cover. Now today I told you for you to cover Word of the Buddha and the first pages of the Incalculable Beginnings, right? That's very important. How many of you started? I sent the message from, okay, this is very important. So that is a sequence of, to get the idea, like what is your samsaric situation, that urgency to, so these are all, I have no idea how to do this. This my teachers, he had made a certain way of, practice. So this is what I'm giving to you, and I did it myself. So this is really good to do it with full contemplating only at least 10 days, at least 14 days, which I was 14 days. 21, I don't think 21 days is ideal, where you're living a solitary life, but at least some taste for you, and definitely there will be a tremendous benefit, more than any other, I would say, a kind of practice, because even 5 days, don't worry, okay? But you will get some idea even in your later on how to do this. You are doing the second time, that's why I told, don't go fast, don't cover like that. Just take the Word of the Buddha also. You can, but today you try to get so that you get a right view, some kind of initial start, and then Kanda, Salayatana. You can take the few suttas that would have been inspiring to you, and then then contemplate that. So don't allow just, if it doesn't be too much clear, go to a next one, another one. And then you'll get one that, what becomes very easily clear, just you follow that. Don't try to understand it also when you just skip the ones. And then don't just only read that. If something interesting, then leave the book and little bit walk up and down. This is the people who are doing the second time. All right, and they must learn to think in the mind or the see that, think about that what you have got became clear just while you're walking. But if you're too much thinking, that's why you must then place your attention to the present moment. Check how you're taking the steps. All right, I will give you an example of the walking meditation. I think it is written down also. They got it printed, and anyway, this is how I did with my teacher. You can make your own walking meditation. The important thing is to contemplate what you're reading from the teaching, because these things that now these suttas are the suttas that made arahants. The suttas told to arahants. So so it is actually for contemplation, right? So now others who are like second time doing, they can try to get more samadhi properly with metta, anapanasati, and but don't try to prolong more than 1 hour. If it's not properly happening, then do the walking, like mix it. Okay, you must learn to art of it, not just to sit and let stagnate. You have to find how the balance will have. Chant something like that, and then read a bit like that, make a change, and then you think things start to move. All right. So, but who are doing the first time, only in the morning I will have a guided recorded this meditation done, but from 6 to 12 in the morning, not more than 1 hour of sitting meditation. Okay. This might look rough for you because you want to experience some peace and all that. All right. But this going to break your peace, break your this thing, because you'll be forced to read through. This will definitely block your stagnation in your material life, and this is my conviction. Okay, this is not Buddha never tells you to do fast. This I have created based on my experience with that yogis, what happens in your brain, so that in this short time, as I told you, I'm very greedy to give you much as possible. So at least some suttas, some ones that become clear, you can do a little walking and try to practice that. But don't do that long, because you'll have to cover something. Okay, so then we cover reading certain section. So when you're reading, then you don't understand, maybe you just read the next, don't worry. This retreat you will have to do like that, and then you are bound to take something with you, according to my understanding. Okay, it's understood, or how is it? Or is it understood? Are you all feeling tired already? I don't know. Okay. So I don't know how many of you are familiar, like, is this your first retreat, anybody? In your life, I mean? Okay, let's see. All right, first retreat. Okay. And are you all familiar with, like, all of you are familiar with some of the Buddha's main teachings, like the 5 aggregates and all that, or who is not familiar? I can then explain in a general way how it relates. Okay. Because I also like a mix, I have very much experience with Christianity, Islam also. I see the qualities of certain, like Yusuf, Joseph, all right, Prophet Joseph, I think, it's like a bodhisattvas, the qualities of, only the teachings of, realization and all that is, something becomes different. But the compassion, the wisdom, in that worldly level, it's very much, interesting. And King Solomon also, his wisdom and all that, who are familiar with Christian. Then St. Francisco of Assisi inspired me a lot, because, that ascetic life and then kind of simplicity. And the compassionate energy, they inspire a lot. So anyway, can I have a book? That English book. But you have to use it. Mahatma's English, have you got an English book? A small Word of the Buddha? Extra one?
You have to borrow one, because we gave her the last one too.
Okay. Wait a minute. I don't have it. Not that one. A small, that Word of the Buddha? Is it okay? All right. I need one. Other.
I brought it from home and I have another one.
Okay, in the Sinhalese one. Okay, I want you to get the kind of translation which is in which language you think. Try to get that book. I don't know if it's in Chinese, familiar Mandarin, then anyone? No, you're not. You're Vietnamese, right? Chinese, sir? And English is okay, familiar with? It's all right. Otherwise, there are like in Singapore and there are translations. Are familiar with that?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Which is easy for you, like you can easily kind of understand?
Yeah, Chinese is, yeah.
Okay. Can you get those translations?
Yeah.
Okay. What you do is you keep the English.
Sure.
And if you don't know which ones, because there are like Chinese devotees who their contact number just to get, it is very important, so that you can compare which is clear. I think that you have to use like that. It's very important, okay? Anyone only, so in Sinhalese, if you are familiar, then this Sinhalese book is, the problem is it's also in old Sinhalese. So I hope some improvement can happen, but it's okay. If you like, if you feel very familiar with Sinhalese. English translation is very clear, very this thing. So when you're reading this kind of books, you must relax, okay? You must in a comfortable way, not thinking too much of your body, or it's a kind of, now you're trying to meditate actually. It's not just reading. So say page number 6. Now in Sinhalese, if I refer, පුළුවන් ද හොයා ගන්න පිටුව? මම කියනකොට the word of the Buddha or the four noble truths. චතුරාර්ය සත්‍ය කියලා එන. Okay. In Sinhalese, page 6. All right, page 6. Okay. So you must, the Kayagata Sati is very important to get. So page number 5. So you have to relax. Okay, when you really relax, you will notice something, or at least in the present moment, that you are in the present moment. You will notice your natural in-breath and out-breath. Okay? Not that you now try to notice artificially or just, no. When you relax, don't try to notice the breath, but you are trying to relax. And then when you're really relaxed, your hands are resting comfortably. You're not holding your cheeks. Thirdly, you will be noticing naturally you're inhaling and exhaling. That's very important to get an idea, okay? Then you look at the book, you take the book, all right? Thus has it been said by the Buddha, the enlightened one. It is through not understanding, not realizing, 4 things that I, disciples, as well as you, had to wander so long through this round of rebirths. And what are these 4 things? They are the noble truth of suffering, the noble truth of the origin of suffering, the noble truth of the extinction of suffering, the noble truth of the path that leads to the extinction of suffering. As long as the absolutely true knowledge and insight as regards these 4 noble truths was not quite clear in me, so long was I not sure that I had won that supreme enlightenment, which is unsurpassed in all the world, with its heavenly beings, evil spirits, and gods among all the hosts of ascetics, priests, heavenly beings, and men. But as soon as the absolute truth, knowledge, and insight as regards these 4 noble truths had become perfectly clear in me, there arose in me the assurance that I had won the supreme unsurpassed enlightenment. And I discovered that profound truth, difficult to perceive, difficult to understand, tranquilizing, sublime, which is not to be gained by mere reasoning, and is visible only to the wise. The world, however, is given to pleasure, delighted with pleasure, enchanted with pleasure. This is very important. Truly such beings will hardly understand the law of conditionality, the dependent origination of everything. Incomprehensible to them will also be the end of all formations. Now here the world, however, is given to pleasure. That's a very important point. Okay. So the pleasures and everything, it blurs your wisdom. Okay. So how many of you, I don't know, there's a rule I heard, you can't take the cell phones. It's a very must that the cell phones are not with them. But here you can't, the people, you can't take the cell phone. I think some rules somebody told me in California. But I hope it can't be operated here. There's Wi-Fi connection or something, no? It must be out. Like no talking thing, same. Definitely it's a must. Because the phone, I don't know, Mahatya Koma, they can arrangement.
Here everything is taken.
Sorry, handover. Oh, wonderful. So you all are really serious, My God, I'm so happy. Really. I have a feeling that also. I was getting sick there also in California, but I was getting your energy. I'm very happy, very happy. These are not things I should be telling, This should be very good. So the world, however, is given to pleasure, delighted with pleasure. So I'm not going to give a program talk here, because, about the damage of phone and all that, Okay, so this is, actually even the program is preparing you for a retreat. So anyway, so this is very important, that wisdom to happen, to see the conditioned nature. But because the conditioned nature, when you're analyzing, you get the impermanent experience. It's not by just looking. Now I will go to some other suttas, how we can do the exercises, how the Buddha is, the type of thinking you have to do to get that impermanence. All right, we will come to that. So anyway, the dependent origination of everything, incomprehensible to them, will also be the end of all formations, the forsaking of every substratum of rebirth, the fading away of craving, detachment, extinction, nibbana. Yet there are beings whose eyes are only a little covered with dust. They will understand the truth. Now, there's a main thing you must understand in this, some of the things. It's about body consciousness. I don't know how many of you now this is a big question in the modern world still, the scientific world, because they're still trying to, associate consciousness with the physical body, okay, the brain and all that. So that will be long, I don't know how, it's not going to be easy to come to any conclusion. This consciousness, Buddha very clearly explains. This is a very big contribution. I don't know whether Deepak Chopra, have you heard of Deepak Chopra? He's the one, I think, in this Western world who explains consciousness from the Eastern philosophy. They already had an idea, good idea about consciousness. The Bodhisattva, I would say, or Rishis, they already had an idea of consciousness that is separate from the body and that is karmically connected, karmically created. That's why sankhara paccaya, mental formations, is the condition for consciousness. Okay, this link is very important. So I tell many people, I see, especially from the Western culture, it's not easy, that regarding the karma, law of karma and the rebirth process, they are not it's not familiar. So I don't say people to blindly believe this also. I also didn't believe these things or try to, really accept it. That's why I said to read like Edgar Cayce, Many Mansions, so, and this background information. So then you get some kind of, and you might notice these things also if you're observant about how karma is working in your life, even in other people's life. Okay. There are ways you can know. Like I'm attracted to Himalayas. Is it hot for you all? No. Huh? If I'm getting hot, maybe my sugar is rising. And something to take quickly. Okay.
Like a fan?
Sorry? No. Are you all feeling hot? No. Hmm? No. I just check what's happening here. Then maybe I have to take something in case. Okay. After this, it's like nearly 4-5 months, and it's really better. I couldn't even give a speech, or I should get tired very quickly, and so that I overcome. But still, it's lingering. So. Some time back, I really exerted one day, and then suddenly it flared up. So not too much. So now I want to explain. Consciousness is a big question. Okay. So, it is related with karma. All right. So, the Edgar, not what's his name, Deepak Chopra also gives a lot of explanation of consciousness and really, really debates with the scientists today. And it is very helpful information, defining consciousness. Buddha, like even olden times, before the Buddha, as a bodhisattva also, as rishis, they also was trying to escape from consciousness. All right? So it was mostly the sensual consciousness, from the sensual world, the type of consciousness we are getting. But so they reached, so in the sensual world, it's mostly it's getting attracted and getting repelled. This is the main two things happen. All right? So anger, greed. All right? So transcending to a higher consciousness through meditation, through faith, this was they transcended the grosser consciousness through this more getting into a subtler consciousness. All right. So recently I had a very nice monk. He was a microbiologist or something, and he has really done a lot of research. So he was telling me something like far off galaxies something has been found. So it has been, with the telescope and so on, they had some proof or something. And then I told him, it's used by, you're using this eye and this still in the material consciousness. Okay, so it's like in the well, you have that area in the well that, it's like, so he understood because you have not changed your consciousness to anything, like another dimension. All right, it is in the same dimension. So it's like the carrot, of the horse also, going. So anyway, he understood also. I also asked him, am I right what I'm saying? Because I'm not very much exposed to scientists or, like this. But I think his material I will study just in case to present, it will be helpful, I guess, for the modern people. What I can take, which will support, because my idea, I'm clear. It's not something I'm experimenting. Just to give it to others, I had to use their language, that's all. So anyway, so the consciousness, it's two separate things. You have body. For example, you must understand like this. Your body is there, okay, a flesh body. Okay, the flesh body is there, like somebody say knocked you with a shot and you became unconscious, all right? Then you have just the flesh body, all right? So the initial, how do you notice that initial consciousness have arisen? Say, for example, ears or eyes start to work. Okay, so initially this thing you begin to, it happens so fast, like in slow motion it shows like that, you can show like this, like you have the ear and the sound wave, all right? So that is taken as material part, all right? So with these two, there is something called like an attention that initially come. It's a factor of consciousness, manasikara. That attention, when it slightly comes, there's immediately sensation. Okay? And with the sensation, there's something that measures the sensation as pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral. That measuring is called perception. When it measures as pleasant, there's something that reacts with greed. If it's measured as unpleasant, it reacts with aversion. And if it's measured as neutral, you react with, if you just don't react also, that means you're in delusion, okay, according to the whole spectrum of, so this is called sankhara, mental formation, which is the also term given to in the 12 links of life. This is the main thing that makes a Buddha, all right? So he found a way to escape consciousness through wisdom, not from another consciousness. So the ancient practices all were there, which he also tried, that they replaced this consciousness from a higher consciousness, but they came back again. So he saw this. Then only under the Bodhi tree, that which is unique, that this special wisdom was brought out. All right? So to escape from consciousness, because even higher consciousness is a dispassionate experience from the sense world, the five sense world. But you are experiencing a neutral feeling. That means it's a factor of consciousness. Consciousness have factor. It's made up of feeling, perception, and reaction. Okay? So that reaction part is karma. So these are there in every moment of consciousness. So Buddha encourages also pure consciousness or samadhi. or equanimity or peaceful feeling, because that helps wisdom. Okay, we have to experience some fear. Like if you want to come out of heroin, you take, I don't know, cannabis, I don't know. So like that you have to come out of cannabis, maybe cigarettes, I don't know. And I'm guessing. All right, so like this you have it's something like that. All right, but this is definitely more helpful. Getting samadhi. So I tell two types of pleasures are there. A pleasure that like people experience. One is through the five sense doors immediately. That's what we are normally used to. And the other one, giving up the five sense doors. That is restraining, disciplining. That is it's called unworldly. Actually it is spiritual. Okay, but that is helpful for this wisdom. But Buddha didn't take that spiritual feeling as the end. He saw that also as impermanent. He's revolutionary in that way. Very, even challenging. So he was like a great master. All right, leave alone all that. And so he also found that ego is, you get a sense of I, is a sense of I to the body and the consciousness. You don't get an I sense to empty space. Okay, so we will go through that, but at least you must know. So each organ, like you have like ears, object, then three things have to come for consciousness to happen. It's condition. Okay, consciousness is a conditioned thing. It needs external stimuli, it needs the organ, they have to be intact, and there has to be attention. These three coming together, there's that corresponding consciousness. So if sound waves strike your eyes, you're not going to hear. It has to be with the ear. Okay? If form, you can't see things from the ears. It has their own domain. So according to how they arise, they are called, that corresponding to that, it's called that consciousness. I, which connected with I, the type of consciousness, you call it I consciousness. Whatever consciousness arises depending on the, the ear, the nose, they call ear consciousness, nose consciousness. Okay? Like that. Sorry?
Consciousness is vijnana.
Vijnana, yes. But vijnana is in Sinhala, this it's like a new word, but consciousness in English is, people know. You are unconscious, you are conscious. These two. So the universe, Buddha's definition of universe is based on what you are conscious of. Okay? Not only, and it's the entire universe is supposed to be in this body with consciousness. Just for example, I give an example like you look something and from below you shake your eyeball. You check how do you experience that. You just keep looking at somebody or something and then shake from below. Keep open and shake from below. Shake means lift it up and down, and say, this gentleman I'm looking, and then shaking. How you notice? You see that person also shaking. So if the person is not there, it is in this consciousness. At least that level of focus you must try to get. It's not there, there's something you have to investigate. It is. So this is important. Now I'm going to also tell something where my teacher used to tell when I'm very peaceful. So I'm preparing you how to think the suttas. Okay? This is very important, just a sample how to think about the suttas, because how to even to contemplate the kind of Dhamma contemplation. Just to give you, I hope you all are not too tired the first day. Are you all? This is when I was really peaceful and fresh, he used to explain this. But I am cramming this for you all, in these 5 days to make you familiar. So tomorrow itself something you start. And so I don't know whether I'm doing the right thing to give you all this so fast. But in the programs also I'm doing, because my now one aim is not to, who is really interested to become enlightened. In the Buddhist teachings, hopefully I'm giving the tools. And be fearless to death and next life, and face old age also without any, to be a yogi and really experience this, definitely I'm giving the tools. If someone has some common sense and really sincerity, I'm sure they will feel it or notice it. Okay, so this so this one I will tell you one. So my teacher is to explain that when we die, like what type of consciousness we were occupied, in your normal life, in this present life, based on that, the type of karma we accumulate we get the last thought and the type of family or whatever environment we have to go and get reborn for that consciousness to go on. All right? So he used to explain about a businessman, I forget, who has been doing business. So he has, or say for example, he didn't do any wrong things, in like he was keeping the sila, and then he get a human birth. So most likely what, he will get a family which does business. All right? මම ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කිව්වට සමාකය සිංහලෙන් කමක් නැද්ද? කට්ටිය කැමති නේද? මොනා කරන්නද? චුට්ටක් කිව්වොත්ද? චුට්ටක් කිව්වොත් තාන්දරගේ සීනි ගොඩක් වැඩි වෙයි. ඒක නේ. භාෂා දෙක තුනෙන් වෙයිනේ. කමන්න. තේරෙනව නැද්ද? හා? තේරෙනවනේ. අරක කිව්වොත් ඉතින් එන්ටර්ටේනින් නේද? ඒකනේ. ඉතින් ඔහොම මාන්ද්‍රෝ මරන්න එපා. ඕකේ. නැත්තම් මේ කොහොමද ඉන්නේ ඉංග්‍රීසි බින්දුවක් දන්නේ නැතුව නේද? I think they were, maybe some of them, just for entertainment, they want me to maybe speak in Sinhalese. So if I do all that, maybe I'll not survive. Okay, I try to cover these points. You don't need too much teaching. I'm just giving you some idea how to use the book. All right. So, so my teacher told about like a businessman. So he'll be born in a family who does business, who has business maybe, so he gets the encouragement and his consciousness continues like that, all right? So when you die, there are two things happen, all right? Relax and listen carefully, all right? Two things happen. One is your last thought, okay, you get a last thought, and you get a last breath, all right? Now for this program also, for example, you got somebody would have told you, you heard from some advertisement or what, I don't know, that the program is going on, okay? Then maybe others also heard, but what, you had some desire to, first you heard, that is your karma, but the desiring nature you have for this, maybe you have been yogis or you have some karma, this type of practice, and you must be having karma with me, all right? So that two things are there normally. We have craving, okay, and the karma coming. Karma is the information you get, and the desire to this thing, it is the desiring nature. So normally the karma is created by desire in the past, and it is also stimulating desire of the present, all right, when it comes as a fruit, all right. So this just simple idea you keep in mind. That's how you have come here also, to spend 5 days. අර කෙනා හම්බුනේ නැද්ද මහත්තයෝ? අර මෑනියෝ හම්බුනේ නැද්ද? ඇෆ්‍රිකන් මෑනියෝ. අර හොයන්න ගියා නේද? කොහෙද?
අනිත් මෑනියෝ ගියා අමන්ට හම්බුනේ නැහැ මම ගිහිල්ලා දැනගන්න.
I didn't see her in either of the bedrooms or in the basement or whenever around the grounds.
Okay, after that time speech or what? After that speech?
After you mentioned it, I went and looked for her.
Ah, you also went, okay.
Yes.
But you didn't find anywhere?
I did not find her.
Okay. Oh, they are going, huh? They're coming like from outside or how? Okay, that's okay. Then it must be like that, okay. Right. I'm surprised how you're managing here also so many, right, in a way. But my imagination is in the garden tent, there has to be a revolution, okay, of enlightenment. Really, I'm not joking about this. This otherwise, this possibility is there, even in this present time. So then these two things you must remember. There's karma coming and there's craving nature, all right? So we get distracted. Why we get distracted is because we have karma also, which is related to our craving in the past, and then it stimulates the same type of craving now, all right? Now, when a person is dying, what he has accumulated most, say for example, he was involved with the sensual world mostly, he had not other big spiritual practice or anything. Say he was attached to family, for example, and the working place. These are the main two places, right? You get attracted, you get repelled, like this. So mostly you create karma in that way, all right, for the experiences you are going through. So then when you're dying, most probably you might see the boss or a colleague from your working place, all right, the dying time, if you have made some karma in that way, or from family, you know, a child or a, you know, parent or something, just for example, okay. So that becomes an object for your consciousness, okay. Remember I told that consciousness needs these conditions. It needs an object or an organ and the attention. So if these three are there, this is happening in the mind though. So the consciousness arises because the conditions are there. Now have you heard of a non-returner on the spiritual path? Have you anyone heard about the sainthood path, that there is some noble beings called non-returner? Non-returner is the beings who have no desires in the sensual plane, all right, and no karma, all right. So they don't get an object of the sensual plane, and they have no way of getting distracted to a sensual object, all right. So when the last breath goes, do you think they can keep their attention to the breath, or will they be distracted by something? Sorry? Okay. They will keep, sorry? They will be what? No, don't tell it like both answers. Tell one answer. It's not a multiple choice question, you know that. So learn to this Dhamma thinking I'm trying to introduce you, okay? So, because you must, like relate to that, okay? Just the mechanism, how it's working. This is how you're thinking about the Dhamma. So they will, are they fully free from attachment? Because if they were, they would not be called anagami, you know, they would be called arahant, okay? So what are they attached to? We get attached to feelings, right? And what type of feeling is a pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, or a neutral feeling? These are the three possible feelings we can get. Neutral feeling, okay. So that peace or whatever, for the meditation or whatever. So that peace comes to their mental experience, and what happened? They have craving for that still, and karma is also there to be born in the Brahmaloka or the higher worlds. So then what happened? The causes are there for consciousness or not? They will be there. So will they be watching the last breath going or not? No, they were okay. Keep this mental picture, okay? Then imagine it happens to you. You are such a person. Say Arahant, for example. Okay, the Arahant, for Arahant, for example, he has no karma and no craving whatsoever. Say it happens to you. You became like that. So when the last breath goes, will you be able to keep your attention to the last breath? Or will you be distracted by anything? Just picture, it's not really answering this, just think for yourself. If I have no attachment whatsoever, to all my attachments are completely quenched, to inner experiences or outer, will I be able to keep my attention? So if you keep even not attached to the breath, will there be conditions for consciousness to arise? No, okay? So my teacher warns me, this is deep. Okay, so I also warn you, it's deep. Okay, but I'm preparing you. Now we are going to read a section called Kandavagga, a section which made those monks arahants. Is it understood by all of you? Okay, it's just it's plain and simple, keep it like that. Is it okay? Is it all right? It should be at least that level, some understanding. I used to love when he explains this, and I used to merge with it in a way in my mind, you know. I had to apply it also, that habit was there, but it made big sense now what you're going to read from tomorrow. Okay, but you are not going to get that chance because you have 5 days, all right. These are given to monks who really, you know, my teacher gave this instruction only to the monks to encourage them to attain what they have become monk for, all right. So this thing, I'm trying to expose it to everybody who has the chance, let them try it out. This is how I'm doing this, all right? So definitely this will help you even to face death and everything. Look at yourself from outside, objectively, you know, as not personal, and all. If there were hidden sadness, all that should go end of the retreat. if you really do what I say, I tell you to do. Okay. So this is very important, because you will be coming here now. In this book also it explains the parts slowly. So you have some idea. Let me go to that one quickly. Some example of the page number 10. This is also like a sutta you can contemplate. It's a meditation kind of object. They don't have a book. Manita potak nadda? Sinhala potak, English potak? No book, huh? Okay, no problem, don't worry. Are you staying here or like residential? No. You're coming from outside or? And okay. No one is with you with a book? No. You don't have a set of. Sorry? But you're taking part in the retreat or you're attending the retreat, huh? You don't have both books, you don't have, or? The big one you have, okay. Okay. I'm sure everybody has a book, but doesn't matter, you can, listen to page number 10. What now is the solid element? The solid element may be one's own or it may be external. And what is one's own solid element? Whatever in one's own person or body there exists of karmically, this is not some knowledge thing. It is a visualization and a contemplation. Okay? This is connected with your wisdom eye, the type of mindfulness and contemplation you must bring out. Okay? Whatever in one's own person or body there exists of karmically acquired hardness, firmness, such as the hairs of the head, hairs of body, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, marrow, kidneys, heart. Now when you read, you must slowly visualize them. Hairs of the body, nails. Meanwhile, noticing your in-breath and out-breath, that you are relaxed enough and you are in the attention of your body, area. Okay, with that only, you must exert that kind of visualizing the parts. And these things have to be read with the idea of letting go. Okay, feel relaxed. Someone who is very greedy and clinging, this is no meaning. It's very suffering to read this. Okay. And when you read this, when you visualize, it should make you more peaceful, more let go from your mind. Okay, so when you read this, you don't feel tired, you feel more energetic. All right. Then only it has been done as a meditation. This is how originally it was done. And what is one's own solid element? Whatever in one's own person or body, the acts of karmically acquired. Now, these body parts don't come from the sky or something. It is coming karmically. Okay, that you must picture. Like some part of your body, how it is formed, certain diseases. Sometimes you give all treatment, it's not getting well, then it has some karma behind it. Even anemic and all that. If Edgar Cayce, you read them, the case studies tell at a time as a soldier, some kind of deeds you have done, how you're getting even migraine. Even my teacher had a similar experience. It didn't go away. Even when he became vegetarian, he wanted to, became vegetarian to overcome it. It didn't go away. Then as a monk, when he was practicing, when he said enough purity came, there was suddenly like a vision, like something they are told, just watch, and then he saw like it's a dream or something, like a vision where like a soldier from some top part is jumping and hitting, clubbing on his head. Then he sort of got this, hitting another soldier actually. But to see he felt the pain, he said. Then he woke up. And then from that day, there's no, migraine. So he says that person who hit was him in that one birth. So like that, when, you are, some karma won't finish, so the disease also will remain until you see until you make the enough purification. So this life is like a kind of, it's like a lesson. So we must take it, we must pass this, we must not run away from situations, whatever way. So this, if you have this wisdom, you will be doing like that. And what is one's own solid element? Whatever in one's own person or body there exists of karmically acquired hardness, firmness, such as the hairs of the head, hairs of body, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, stomach, bowels, mesentery, excrement, and so on. This is called one's own solid element. Now this is the vipassana part of it. Now whether it be one's own solid element or whether it be the external solid element, they are both merely the solid element. Okay. Now whether it is like, the hardness of my cheekbone or the hardness of the mic, mentally you must exercise. They are just hardness. Okay. And if you're properly focused and kind of, meanwhile when you're trying to do, you will be coming more closer to the bodily function. That's how you are exerting this calmness and visualization. They have a connection. Otherwise it's tired to think about this. So anyway, you can try it out. That's why you must learn to relax more. And then visualizing, then the wisdom eye slowly starts to work. It's still sleeping. And then if it then happens, then one should understand according to reality, true wisdom. This does not belong to me. This am I not. This is not myself. It will become very obvious that, there's no difference here. So the other one is liquid nature. Okay? Whether the water in the tap or the watery nature of your blood, you must visualize now, even now while talking, you're not talking anyway, me, how they are similar, or your urine. So we can notice that when the urine goes into the, the commode, we think it's my urine, but of course when it was in your body, in your bladder, is it real? Is it not your mind kind of thinking that way? So it's an idea, it's a concept. This you have to slowly, so part by part if you take, you become empty. You become empty of the ego. You have to have these things and this kind of unmindfulness to get that idea is me. Alright? So this you have to little practice. Okay? They are to practice like that. Okay? I won't go through very much. And in the next page, and one should understand the contrary. Okay, just the last part of that. Just as one calls hut the circumscribed space that comes to be by means of wood and rushes, reeds and clay, even so we call body the circumscribed space that comes to be by means of bones and sinews, flesh and skin. Okay, that's showing the concept idea. Alright, so even this is a room, a hall, it's like bricks and all things coming together, but if you take them apart, it's like the idea of room or hall vanishes. So you can't take them apart, we'll be put in jail. And so what we can do is mentally you can do that, alright? So that you begin to see the plain truth of your experience, alright? So that is where you're seeing the plain truth and seeing the final truth is what wisdom is all about. From what is real, from what is unreal. So that more you're seeing that, you're going to the unchanging experience. So these concepts are changing. Concept experience is changing all the time. Okay? So you remove the concept, slowly you're going to actually towards Nibbana. Nibbana is nothing but the wisdom. Okay, we read this one also, page number 13, dependent origination of consciousness. Now I know some of you have used to sitting down, doing the meditation. Are you upset with me? Not, but are you already prepared? I did a little bit of last time, right? My Indian friend, yeah. You're from India, right?
Yes.
Okay, now you get, I hope I'm very glad you're here then. That day I gave very, very little, now hopefully, what I be think.
But it stuck with me. Particularly, I still remember how to look at things, like a sharp look and then like looking as just a big picture.
Right. I was so glad, we survived. I mean, you survived the corona, all this thing, and finally came for this. Okay, good. But deep in my heart, I had the memory very strongly about you. And few people, of course, they were, and I'm glad you made it. The group of mental formations, sankhara, for human functions. Okay. And okay, we go through this. Page number 13. Singaleka hambunada? Viññāne, I don't know whether Viññāne, Patisampanna Viññāne, Patisampanna Viññāne. Page 14, Singaleke. Now though one's eye be intact, yet the external forms do not fall within the field of vision, and no corresponding conjunction of eye and forms takes place, in that case there occurs no formation of corresponding aspect of consciousness. Okay? Although one's eye be intact and the external forms fall within the field of vision, yet if no corresponding conjunction takes place, in that case too there occurs no formation of the corresponding aspect of consciousness. If, however, one's eye is intact and the external forms fall within the field of vision and the corresponding conjunction takes place, in that case there arises the corresponding aspect of consciousness. So how many causes are there for the consciousness to happen? How many? Yeah, correct. Sorry? No, 6 consciousness are there, but a single, 3. Okay, single consciousness, you need an object, you need the organ, and then there is that initial attention. Okay, that's all. That's it. Very simple. Very fast it's happening. Now also it has happened, and this is very important. You could see the craving is is the thing that binds the. We will go through that also. Hence, I say the rising of consciousness is dependent upon conditions, and without these conditions, no consciousness arises. And upon whatsoever conditions the rising of consciousness is dependent, after these it is called consciousness. Consciousness arising depends on the eye and forms is called eye consciousness. Consciousness arising depends on the ear and sounds is called ear consciousness. So I have told that, right? Like you don't hear sound from your eyes. So just to give that point. And consciousness whose arising depends on the mind. Okay, the last one there. Whatsoever there is of corporeal reality or rupa, body, okay? On that occasion, this belongs to the group of corporeality. Whatsoever there is of feeling, this belongs to the group of feeling. Like a single moment of consciousness, whatever body it used is the body, okay? It used, say, ear and the sound wave, the eyes and this thing, that is the material part, that is the body, okay? And then at that time, whatever there was that arose as feeling, it is belongs to feeling. Perception as perception. And this is and reaction as mental formation. And this is all in consciousness, okay? Consciousness is, so they are not, you can't separate them, they are there together, okay? That's clear, right? But they are different. Consciousness is the function of consciousness is different from each of its factors. It's like a whole thing, all right? So in it, it's made up of feeling, perception, you can call like that. So any moment of consciousness, nobody can, there will be always feeling, perception and reaction. Is it clear to everybody? Is it familiar? Have you gone through this before? And okay. So for your now tomorrow's thing, this is very important. This is just general ideas in this book you get. It's like a good handbook for your entire sutta. If you want to, the main ideas are brought in a small handy book. So in the second part also, dependency of consciousness on the other 4 khandhas. And it is impossible for anyone to explain the passing out of one existence and the entering into new existence, or the growth, increase and development of consciousness independently of corporeal reality, feeling, perception, and mental formations. Okay. Okay, we read the page number 15, some explanation given by the author of this book. It's also nice. Individual existence as well as the whole world is in reality. Follow කරන්න පුළුවන්ද සිංහලෙන්? සිංහලෙන් අර මේ පොඩ්ඩක් තේරුම් කරලා තියෙන අනත්ත කියලා කියන එක අර ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ තේරුම් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. සිංහලෙන් 16 පිට. මාතර කියන්න පුළුවන්ද මේගොල්ලන් නැත්තම්? 16 in the Sinhalese one, okay, 15 in the English one. The Anatta doctrine, the individual existence as well as the whole world is in reality nothing but a process of ever-changing phenomena, which are all comprised in the 5 groups of existence. This process has gone on from time immemorial. Difficult for me to pronounce, right? So before one's birth and also after one's death. It will continue for endless periods of time, as long and as far as there are conditions for it. As stated in the preceding text, the 5 groups of existence, either taken separately or combined, in no way constitute a real ego entity or subsisting personality, and equally no self, soul, or substance can be found outside of these groups as their owner. In other words, the 5 groups of existence are not self, nor do they belong to a self. In a view of the impermanence and conditionality of all existence, the belief in any form of self must be regarded as an illusion. Okay? This is just as what is designated by the name chariot has no existence apart from axle, wheels, shafts, body, and so forth, or as the word house is merely a convenient designation for various materials put together after certain fashion so as to enclose a portion of space, and there is no separate house entity in existence. In exactly the same way, that which we call a being or an individual or a person or by the name I is nothing but a changing combination of physical and mental phenomena and has no real existence in itself. This is in brief the Anatta doctrine of the Buddha, the teaching that all existence is void of a permanent self or substance. It is the fundamental Buddhist doctrine, not found in any other religious teachings or philosophical system. To grasp it fully, not only in abstract and intellectual way, but by constant reference for true understanding of. Now when you read this, when you read this, if you applied, if someone shouts at you or you feel something attractive, there should be some reduction, okay, or you should be able to apply it. Alright, it has happened in the retreats, but if this application is very important, there are especially the 4 elements, alright, the 4, now we just went through the hard nature and all that. Now if you really visualize it and practice enough, I tell in the programs very often, but one of the organizing gentlemen have told me, be careful of people, experiences, they might feel hurt. I'm now being very sensitive. It's of my one aunt who gets very angry, but I'm sure, she must be getting good karma because I'm telling about exam. So once I had an experience where she shouted at me, alright, those days when I was practicing, like there's one special sutta called Mahasthipadopada Sutta. So this is taken from that actually. So it shows the no self, empty nature of the body through the 4 elements, okay, the impermanent nature, and how the consciousness depends on this body, which is empty and impermanent. Then the consciousness also is not yours, okay. That way there's a way of contemplating, because consciousness is not easy to see as not you. You can feel the body very well as not you, but the consciousness is so fast changing and that it looks like one, like kind of stream. So there's a way through wisdom, that's how the Buddha looks at it, it depends on a body, it can't arise in the empty space or in a robot. If they create like Elon Musk or somebody, maybe I will disrobe. It's nice, I can play cricket. Here don't play cricket, right? Okay. But definitely this consciousness, a real consciousness, impossible. It's a being. The being is really without. So the consciousness, it needs a body, nama rupa, with that. So name and form. So this very important. So it needs this particular condition, but difficult to see it as not me. Okay. So, but when you see that it depends on a body, it cannot arise without a body. But when the body, you can be clear that is not you, then the consciousness has to be by inference. All right? But by inference, you know that this is also not you. So it is like a very solidified awareness you have to build. Then when someone comes shouting, that will work from, if it has gone to an inner experience. That's what we are really supposed to get as a yogi when you are reading, and it becomes an inner experience. Then it pervades your other experiences in your consciousness. All right? So then it automatically, if someone attractive or this thing, they all like you're looking from that wisdom glasses. All right? It will happen. It should happen. Do you get my point? The wisdom glasses. Now you're going to wear. Now we have all these other. Okay. Now some people have told me now. Now I hear some of the experiences of the UK retreats. That they have been going to a lot of programs. For many years they have been following, trying to practice as lay people. And they were struggling with sensuality actually. A lot of desires and all that with this, especially I'm sure with sexual kind of this thing. But after the retreat, this gentleman actually said, Bhante, this really helped me to control my thoughts. I'm very glad. I'm sure it should happen, because the main medicine for this thing is not even samadhi or sila. It's a high dosage of wisdom. So that will definitely, has to have an effect. So, page number 21, dependent origination of all phenomena. Okay, before that, 24, page number 24, karma. Maybe 25 or 26 in your one. Karma kile no adeka. So the English one is 24 karma. Okay, yeah. In the Sinhalese one, 25, 25, 24, 25. Same like the English one then. All right. Karma. The second noble truth serves also to explain the causes of the seeming injustices in nature, by teaching that nothing in the world can come into existence without reason or cause, and that not only our latent tendencies, but our whole destiny, all weal and woe, results from causes which we have to seek partly in this life, partly in former states of existence. Actually, I like very much not very much in a way, the New Jersey, this side of this part of the English is very interesting, right? It's very sweet English, I would say. It does like, what is it? There's a like, they how do you call that? They pull it, right? Like sort of there is the accent. It's a very big difference. But like Texas and there is like some symphony, Wow, like I don't know how there's a very, but I'm not meeting any local people. What to do, Next time bring them more. But anyway, initially I was little bit, first trip I was not very happy, because I thought I'm not coming to America to meet Sri Lankan people. I come to give the teachings to the people of this part of the world. But anyway, it has to have some karma and the time also. But all are suffering, so that's why I'm happy. Any human being who is wherever I'm meeting, I'm very happy now. Yes.
Single, page 26.
Sorry, 26. The single is one. Karma. The second noble truth serves also to explain the causes of the seeming injustices in nature, by teaching that nothing in the world can come into existence without reason or cause, and that only our latent tendencies, but our whole destiny, all weal and woe, result from causes which we have to seek partly in this life, partly former states of existence. These causes are the life-affirming activities produced by body, speech and mind. Hence, it is this threefold action that determines the... Now, so for example, you in a moment of consciousness, you say the reaction to any feeling, after you perceive it, all right? If it is only thought level, it becomes mind karma, okay? If you verbalize, you speak, then it becomes word karma. And its action, if you do, it's body karma, okay? That's very clear how it... These causes are the life-affirming activities produced by body, speech and mind. Hence, it is the threefold actions that determine the character and destiny of all beings. Exactly defined, karma denotes those good and evil volitions causing rebirth and shaping the destinies of beings. Thus, existence, or better, the process of becoming, consists of an active and a conditioning karma process, and its result, the rebirth process. Hence, here too, when considering karma, one must not lose sight of the impersonal nature of existence. In the case of a storm-swept sea, it is not an identical wave that hastens over the surface of the ocean, but it is the rising and falling of quite different masses of water. In the same way, it should be understood that there are no real ego entities hastening through the ocean of rebirth, but merely life waves which, according to their nature and activities, good or evil, manifest themselves here as humans, there as animals, and elsewhere as invisible beings. So, so this is okay. Some understanding. This is told, written by the author. Okay, so don't take it very seriously, but it will help you to a little bit, clarify in our modern. Okay, dependent addition. Before that, page number 21, we go back. Dependent origination of all phenomena. Now, this like sutta is very good for your walking meditation. Hopefully, I will try to show you one walking meditation. Because in this contemplative meditation, the main place where you can experience a good insight could be walking, when you're walking. Okay. In the sitting, not encouraged to contemplate or do it. Okay, while you're reading comfortably, relating to you, that's a different thing. But if you close your eyes, it is, and then you can try metta and anapanasati to develop samadhi separately. Okay, and that is people who are doing the second time, they can do that little more. But the ones who are doing the first time is only 1 hour after, from 6 to 12 in the morning and 12 to 6 in the evening. Not more than 1 hour. You just have to do the more reading and so on. Okay, because this is a different type of retreat where it's going to touch you or something, to any stagnation, any this thing, and then hopefully put you in a fast mode for the future toward liberation. From my understanding, all right? Because according to Buddha, it will be slow contemplation. That you need more time. All right, so little bit you can try, but not all the time, because you will have to cover certain reading. Okay, that will definitely give you a forceful blessings according to something. When you are going out of the retreat, whether you got enlightened or not, something would have happened to your brain in a positive way. Okay, when I say like that, I hope you will not misunderstand that it's not to put some chip in your brain or something. It is dependent origination of all phenomena. If when perceiving a visual object, sound, odor or taste. Now this is very important. 21, page number 21. You see? 23. In the Sinhalese one, okay? In the English one, it is. Did you get a Chinese one? Or no, the English book, right?
Yeah, English one.
They have it in Chinese also. I heard in PDF or something. And කොහොමද අර ඒ link එකක් මොන හරි මන් දන්නේ නැහැ. දුන්නාද ඒගොල්ලන්? Chinese කට්ටිය. ආන්න පුළුවන් නේ. These gentlemen are all doing a lot of work, you know, not easy. I feel very, the thing, like a one-man show, all of them, not one, a few people are there, but it's not, anyway, they're doing a great merit. If when perceiving a visual object, sound, odor and taste, bodily impression or mental object, the object is pleasant, one is attracted, and if the object is unpleasant, one is repelled. Thus, whatever kind of feeling one experiences, pleasant, unpleasant or indifferent, if one approves and cherishes the feeling and clings to it, then while doing so, lust springs up. But lust for feeling means clinging, and on clinging depends present process of becoming. Now this is mentally you have to, this is a good thing, good explanation, the Buddha how he's telling. Now if you are experiencing a pleasant feeling now, pleasant experience through your eyes, for example, okay? If you allow that feeling and this thing immediately, right now, you must see how it's going to affect your entire rebirth process while you are experiencing now. So, you know, if you allow, you indulge in it, then you're increasing your clinging, okay? When you're increasing your clinging, then you definitely, you know, get repelled, and clinging means karma, you know, and then also repelled, you make karma. Okay, attraction and repulsion, it will come automatically. And any attraction and repulsion happens, karma is created. Okay, so when karma is there, then there is definitely jati, rebirth. If there's karmic, there will be a plane for you. So that is bhava. All right. So jati pacha jaramana. Mentally, you must learn to see this, picture this. That's where you are contemplating the Dhamma. All right. This is causing this. All right, now immediate contact that you can contemplate. Oh, this if I allow, this is going to, you know, trigger that chain of reaction. Okay, so this mentally you have to now get used to seeing, you know, how it's going to affect, how each link is going to. So this sutta is helpful in that way. In your walking, you can read and then, you know, kind of get used to that type of thinking. Present process of becoming. On the process of becoming, karmic process, depends birth, jati, and depend on birth. So you must remember, if there's, because of your karma is there, the birth will happen. How does in mothers, you know, whatever mothers, you know, womb or any other womb, the initial, you know, body, whatever part, that's karmically coming. Okay, then the nama rupa for name and form, the form is there, name, you know, they to come, that so that is karmically coming, a parent who has the similar type of karma that might support you in the future. So, that picture you must get. If you don't have karma, you don't get the body to support, body part that will create. Now even the present body is a past karma. Okay, so now a frog will have a different type of karma. He has, with that body he get different type of consciousness. Or another animal, and human being, even in the same family, the same due to different karmas working, they will go through different experiences. Some are so sad at certain times, so bad news and everything. But if they are related to you, you also share some karma that time to, you know, have that. So like this, it works in office and everywhere, working place. In the sensual world, only mainly the gross karma will be experienced. So then you picture, depend on birth and decay and death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief and despair. There arises the whole mass of suffering. So page number 26. Dependent extinction of all phenomena. and through the total fading away and extinction of craving, clinging is extinguished. Think it happens to you when you're contemplating these things. If craving completely, if my mind becomes free from it, then clinging will not come, I will not indulge in a feeling, I will not allow the feeling to be experienced, then the clinging cannot arise. When clinging is reduced through the extinction of clinging, that means getting attracted and getting repelled, that karma forming and accumulating will not happen. The process of becoming is extinguished. Karmic process will be extinguished. Through the extinction of karmic process of becoming, rebirth is extinguished. You have to mentally picture, this, because of this cause, this will happen. If this cause won't be there, this effect cannot happen. Now you are going into a different type of thinking and analyzing. But this type of thinking, analyzing of cause and effect will definitely lead you to, what Buddha wants you to get. And this is not that you have to know the exact kind of meaning of each this thing. This links when you happen to contemplate in what how the Buddha says, you will get an entire unexplainable experience. So be patient for that. So purify. Don't try to conclude so fast that if I understand in words how it's explained that I will know this. I told you they contain visions. They contain intuitive vipassana. This thing. So I'm just telling you to be encouraged, but don't be expecting like that and read also. Just read. Do this. Buddha's blessings might come. But in this retreat, but if there's a possibility of somebody, it might happen. All right. Because, one day, if there's a longer retreat, if you have the human lifespan, do these things. But at least now you'll get a way how to do. Okay. So because you can do little bit of that, but you'll have to read more faster, not do it, apply it, okay, too much here. All right. So clinging, the process of becoming, bhava is extinct. Through the extinction of karmic process of being, birth is extinguished. Through the extinction of rebirth, decay and death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief and despair are extinguished. Thus comes about the extinction of the whole mass of suffering. Hence the annihilation, cessation and overcoming of form, feeling, perception, mental formations and consciousness, this is the extinction of suffering, the end of disease, the overcoming of old age and death. Now these are all words of the Buddha, right? You know that, right? It's not, and the ones that I explained is, so they are taken from different parts of the suttas and put here. Malitapatti, the two brothers, no? Or you're sharing? Yeah. Okay. Good at your age to come at this. We can read this on 29th page. The immutable. දෙවනි immutable කියලා තියෙන නිබ්බාන කියන එකෙන් පස්සේ අරහන්ත් කියලා මොකද ඒ සම්බන්ධවත් තියෙනවනේ රහතන් ඊට පස්සේ එකක් කියන්නේ අන්න ඒක මේ page එක කීයද 31. Truly there is a realm where there is, page number 29, truly there is a realm where there is neither the solid nor the fluid nor heat nor motion. That means no body, okay? Or any form. Neither this world nor any other world. Neither sun nor moon. This I call neither arising nor passing away. Neither standing still nor being born nor dying. There is neither foothold nor development nor any basis. This is the end of suffering. So you must get some little idea, even theoretically, this is what you want to experience one day. But when you are just some idea is okay. Buddha, how he's experiencing, there is an unborn, unoriginated, uncreated, unformed. If there were not this unborn, unoriginated, uncreated, unformed, escape from the world of the born, the originated, the created, the formed would not be possible. But since there is an unborn, unoriginated, uncreated, unformed, therefore escape is possible from the world of the born, the originated, the created, the formed. Page number 43. 44, 5 hari 42 hari mandana. Ekara me ditti hakareyak enne. Views and discussions about the self. ආත්මය පිළිබඳ දිට්ඨිය හරි මොනවාරියක් තියෙනවද? Sorry, 41 ද තියෙනවනේ. 41 in Sinhala is 1. And the English one is 43. Views and discussions about the self. Now, if someone should say that feeling is his self, he should be answered thus. There are three kinds of feeling. Actually, the idea of self comes to the feeling. Just imagine your legs, like now you're seated for a long time, and then say you don't see you from your eyes also. It gets numb. The blood flow is not there. And like it becomes numb. My legs get numb for some time. So like you don't see it from your eyes also, all right? Then you get an idea like, if someone even takes a part of your leg, maybe, even anesthesia, is the feeling is taken away, all right? So with the feeling, when feeling, the idea of I also comes. There's two things. The feeling makes you craving or attachment comes to feelings. And with that, the idea comes, a concept comes. So soon you're having less feeling and less, clinging. The idea of self also begins to diminish. Illusionary idea. So that idea begins to diminish. And the final result will be total this thing that this is only a cause and effect thing, not a person is there. That is the actual reality. Because we are not seeing that, we are making so much karma that way. That's why we are creating a body and we are rising in a place where there are bodies. You get it? Soon you begin to react the other way. You are also getting less and less created. And then you are going to be reborn. You're not going to be rising in a plane where there are also beings. All right, because so we read this. Now, if someone should say that feeling is his self, he should be answered thus. There are three kinds of feeling: pleasurable, painful, and indifferent feeling. Which of these three feelings do you consider as yourself? Because at the moment of experiencing one of these feelings, one does not experience the other two. These three kinds of feelings are impermanent, of dependent origin, are subject to decay and dissolution, to fading away and extinction. Whoever in experiencing one of these feelings thinks that this is his self, must after the extinction of that feeling admit that his self has become dissolved. And thus he will consider his self already in this present life as impermanent, mixed up with pressure and pain, subject to rising and passing away. If anyone should say that feeling is not his self, and that his self is inaccessible to feeling, he should be asked thus: now where there is no feeling, is it then possible to say, this am I? This is very nice, some good thinking to get an idea how the idea of feeling gets created and how the idea of I cannot arise at all without a feeling. Okay? Or another might say, feeling indeed is not myself, but it is also untrue that myself is inaccessible to feeling, for it is myself that feels, myself that has the faculty of feeling. Such a one should be answered thus: suppose that feeling should become altogether totally extinguished. Now if after the extinction of feeling, no feeling whatever exists there, is it then possible to say, this am I? So it has the same idea. Now some people, when I have read these parts, they read these parts only. This just some push for you all, okay? You must read the whole book, okay? Am I? I don't know, it happens in other retreats. I should not be doing this. You should be on your own somewhere in a corner reading it, right? As I told you, my over interest in sorry? Amund? Yeah, did you get that page?
Feelings is Vedana.
Yeah, Vedana, Vedana, yeah. I will tell you about the walking meditation also. So that, okay, page number 68. Analysis of the four elements. ධාතු හතර මොකක් කර තියෙනවද? සිංහලකේ. ඊළඟ එතන තියෙන අසුභ භාවනාව කියලා. ඇත්තටම මේක තියෙනවනේ. ඒ අසුභ භාවනාව කියලානේ. Okay, single is one? Okay, 72. 68, yeah. So it's a commentary part of Visuddhimagga. It's good anyway, okay? But we don't not too much at all recommend, like, the commentaries or the thing. Like go directly to the Buddha, this explanation, but this use something just to get, it is okay. The simile is explained to follow. When a butcher rears a cow, brings it to the place of slaughter, binds it to the post, makes it stand up, slaughters it, and looks at the slaughtered cow, during all that time he has still the notion, cow. But when he has cut up the slaughtered cow, divided it into pieces, and sits down near it to sell, the meat, the notion cow ceases in his mind, and the notion meat arises. He does not think that he is selling a cow or that people buy a cow, but that it is meat that is sold and bought. Similarly, in an ignorant worldling, whether monk or layman, the concept being man, personality, will not cease until he has mentally dissected this body of his as it stands and moves, and has contemplated it according to its component elements. But when he has done so, the notion personality will disappear, and his mind will become finally established in the contemplation of the elements. Now the other one, symmetric contemplation, this is called asubha kila tiyenne kamanne. Single is again. And ilangika. And further, just as the disciple were, now symmetric contemplation, maybe you like to have a real, body, okay, in front of you. But you just imagine there's a body, dead body in front of you. When you imagine and try to contemplate, it's more powerful than having a real body. Okay? And further, just as if the disciples were looking at a corpse, it's 7:30. Okay, and further, just as if the disciple were looking at a corpse thrown on a charnel ground, 1, 2, or 3 days dead, swollen up, blue-black in color, full of corruption, so he regards his own body. This body of mine is also the nature. Now, these are all, you must relax and visualize, okay? That's very important. Has this destiny and cannot escape it. And further, just as if the disciples were looking at a corpse thrown on a charnel ground, eaten by crows, hawks, or vultures, by dogs or jackals, or devoured by all kinds of worms, so he regards his own body. The body of mind also has this nature, has this destiny, and cannot escape it. This will help you to detach from your own body, okay? And also other bodies who you feel attached, if you apply, maybe to your dog and all that, to your relations or something you attach to, anything, your own body. So, and further, just as if the disciples were looking at a corpse thrown on the charnel ground like that. So, a framework of bone, stripped of flesh, bespattered with blood, held together by the sinews. A framework of bone, without flesh and blood, but still held together by sinews. bones disconnected and scattered in all directions. Here a bone of the hand, there a bone of the foot. Even a little bit you visualize, it brings a lot of peace, and it makes you let go. Okay, there a shin bone, there a thigh bone. Gone to the Christian to dust, finally everything comes to. So there the spine, there the skull. So he regards his own body, this body of mine also has this nature, has this destiny, and cannot escape it. So finally it comes, the ninth one, the bone withered and crumbled to dust. So he regards his own body. This body of mine also has this nature, has the destiny, and cannot escape it. Okay, not going to finish, I think, what I have to do. What I have to do, actually decided by me. Okay, so this hopefully in the night you can try to read something. In case you find you not cannot finish tomorrow early, try, okay? And if you're not slept properly, rested properly, sleep well. Okay, come for the breakfast only or whatever, and but not only tonight, all right, not other nights. Then the reasonable amount of sleep you have to give, and the food. Food of course you take, okay, I don't know how, but only when you don't open your mouth like that. And now when you get up, there's other practice. It's in Sutta, I don't want to give you that Sutta. Ganaka Muggala and the gradual training. This have to be done constantly now. You have to try it out. All right, when you get up, like now going there, just thinking about it, it's not like that. You have to remind yourself again, no, let me stand up, let me watch myself stand up. This have to be practiced also when you have to move around, all right? And pay to the simple things you can notice immediately, all right? The flow may be what I'm seeing. Your mind will go again to the past, the future. Remind again, just let me notice this, and I can see my feet moving. Like that, bring your attention to the now. Okay? This is a good place to train for this. I tell, even when you're working at your normal life, also start this. Then you will not have that tired mind. Okay? This is very important. Now this is a time you can easily master it to some extent. And then like when you're touching the steering wheel, to feel the steering wheel, the back of the seat, like that, to improve that mindfulness and paying attention. That part of the brain is not being exercised, and that's the reason. It's not because you have a lot of work or something, no. So you can do it now very easily here. You're there for that purpose. All right? You can try when you're going, moving. It's not only not talking. Now you're becoming yogis. All right? Two things mainly. One is not to recognize anybody. And especially the male, female, that really has to be, try. I mean, now it's a small space, so, really be sensible also. You can't say, this one, that one, but try to avoid, okay, with kindness, feeling in the heart, and also any human being. Again, all right, that means even among males or female, they are all you think to be like lone. Then you get more results. All right. In case for some reason that thing is broken, don't be upset. Let go that. Say it's just your karma. All right. So you have to understand like that. And if you have anger out of that, you lose so much energy, and that's also not good. We don't have time, 5 days. By the time you recover from that anger, time has passed so much. So we have no time for that. So also other thoughts may come while you are really in solitude. Sensual thoughts, then anger or fears, then you can chant a little bit. Then practice. Now we are reading some of the things apply to those thoughts. And that's very good, because what is really hidden inside might come out. That's very good. It will clear. That's the purpose of the retreats, to clear your unconscious, subconscious, underlying latent tendencies. Otherwise, they will come, as I told you, last moment. So this is a process of purifying, cleansing your karma. And it will have quite another effect on your destiny also. All right? In the coming times. So we have another. The big book, do I have? The English red one. This, whose book is this? But do anyone has an extra red book? There, right. That's my book actually. Or they have made it. I'm not going to read the whole book now, right? Okay. Don't be worried. I'm going to finish the program now, all right? So I'm going to put you in a, don't wait for me or anything, all right? Read the word of the Buddha. Finish it by tomorrow morning. You have no too much. Morning means like before breakfast and little after breakfast. And you have to start the main meditation, I would say the object. Okay? So that section is called Kanda Vagga, all right? Just I'll make 1 or 2 suttas initially, though, so that you get. Okay, the first one also, page 16, Nakulapitu Sutta. Single is one. And sorry, one thing, you have to also read the Incalculable Beginnings. Have you started already? That's in the big book. Yeah, that is before these suttas, okay? So if you start from the page number 12, after the word of the Buddha, even while reading the word of the Buddha, just try to cover a few of this page 12, start page 12, 291. Okay, this. Yeah, that one. Okay, page 12. No, I'm sorry. It starts from page 5. I don't know what. Wait a minute. Yeah, it starts from page 5. Anatta Magga Samyutta, without discoverable beginnings. It ends 12, okay, page 12. And then tomorrow you'll be starting page 16. That is the main meditation objects, okay. So the problem is 1 or 2 initially you will have to read to contemplate, okay. Then you'll find, I will tell you to read, you have tomorrow and day after. These 2 days, half of day after, you must try to finish the page I'm going to tell you. It's going to be quite a lot. So just do little what you can contemplate, and you find you can't cover, then you'll have to go fast, all right? Keep that in mind. Don't worry. This retreat you'll have to do like that, okay? So at least give some idea of how to contemplate in few suttas, and then the other one you'll have to go fast, all right? Because so we just go through this. Now in this, I will make it very short. We can't go through too much time. This old disciple, lay disciple comes to the Buddha and he says, I'm very old and can you please explain the teachings in short? Okay. So when he says he also they need English one. Everybody have, or how is it? Anybody don't have? Or if they're in their room? What about you? You have one? No. And you're sharing, then you'll be talking together, you know. But you have one in your room? No.
Are you staying? Are you staying here?
But do you have one? Okay, so you have one, na? You can get one?
No, there are enough books, so each one should have one.
She needs a similar version. I'll get the similar version.
Okay, anyway. But I hope everybody has, otherwise ask from the gentleman, all right? I think he have all enough books. Because this is very important for me. This is, it's not book reading. I call this the Sutta meditation, Krutta Kamatahana. It's a Kamatahan. So, unfortunately we have to tell like that, because it's not happening like that. In the olden times it was just that. So now it's like mostly we have Sutta studies. Not like that. This is, so I call this a magic book to everybody, you know. So happy, the word of the Buddha and all this. Some few forest monks who are this thing, they practice like that, but you know, it happened like that. But not in public, not in society, it became popular or known. So this in this sutta, this old person goes to Buddha and says, you know, I am very sick. The Buddha says, though your body is sick, your mind should not be sick. Okay? So he gives a short, then the Buddha, I am telling in short, okay? So then he leaves and he's very bright, and Sariputta, the second to the Buddha, he in wisdom, you know, his disciple asked, why are you so bright? Did you have a teaching from the Buddha? He said, yes. So what did he say? He said, though my body is sick, don't allow my mind to be sick. And then he asked, did you question the Buddha how the body is sick and how the mind is sick? How the body is sick and how the mind is not sick. Okay? And it's Buddha, he said no. Then the Sariputta, the Buddha's main disciple, I'm not telling any page, okay? I'm just explaining it like this. So these all you have to read calmly, quietly, and then apply to you. So let me see, maybe tomorrow I will, you know, try to explain that more. So there, the Sariputta Maharatan, the main disciple of the Buddha, says how the body is sick and the mind is sick. It is when you take the body with these views and the mind, that means the 5 skandhas, body, feeling, perception, as that I am in that, and I is something out. Let me read that part, okay? And how householder, this page number 18, and how householder is one afflicted in body, but, no, not that one. Page number 17, in the last paragraph, and how householder is one afflicted in body and afflicted in mind. Here householder, the uninstructed worldling, who is not a seer of the noble ones, and is unskilled and undisciplined in their Dhamma, who is not a seer of the superior persons, and is unskilled and undisciplined in their Dhamma, regards form. Now when you read this, you must be in present awareness of your own body. Okay? Now I am holding this book and I am sitting, but my mind is kind of sweeping to the body. This you have to do, okay? This you have to practice. Then you are applying that to you. Dhamma regards form as self. Okay? That means I am regarding my body as self, or self as possessing form. Or the self is like this and my body is inside that. Okay? Or form as in self, or self and as in form. He lives obsessed by the notion, I am form, form is mine. As he lives obsessed, this is the normal way we live. Okay? But we are now observant of our ignorance. That's very important. As he lives obsessed by these notions, that form of his changes and alters. It happens to us. We fall sick, or some part of it may be amputated. With the change and alteration of form, or getting old, wrinkled, there arises in him sorrow, lamentation, pain, depression, and despair. That happens to all beings. Okay? He regards feeling as self, so that also you have to apply like that. And how householder, I am going to the last paragraph, and how householder is one afflicted in body, but not afflicted in mind. Here householder, the instructed noble disciple, who is a seer of noble ones, and is skilled and disciplined in their Dhamma, who is a seer of superior persons, and is skilled and disciplined in their Dhamma, does not regard form as self. So you're taking out from your body the delusionary idea, that you have to do. It's a small exercise. You have to get, this when you're reading this. So you have to be in the present moment also.